My name's Connor Hardwick, and I am the product owner for the AI Report Writer tools that we have on the Twinkl site. I'm going to be talking you through those tools today, but also letting you know how you can enhance your report writing this term if you are a teacher, if you are a school leader, and share this with colleagues or educators that you work with, or how it might help you personally. So a little bit of background about me before I start is I was a teacher for around 8 years, a primary school teacher. I've taught around the globe in a few different countries, and now I work with Twinkl, and my job is to help teachers around the world write reports and use technology to do that. So at Twinkl, we do have 2 report writer tools that I'll be going through today, and hopefully you'll be able to try them out, test them out, and give us some feedback on there as well. So if I go to the next slide, just again, this session's recorded. So at any point, if you do have any questions, you want to pop them in the chat box, that's completely fine. If you want to hold off to the end, there will be a Q&A, but just for your benefit, if you are talking about any schools or children, then please make sure that obviously you realize that this is being recorded, as you know, it's important that we're not talking about specific pupils in specific schools. So just a little side note there. Okay, so if we dive into teachers' workload and what I am trying to do as the report writer product owner, on average, teachers are working for around 54 hours per week, and around 13 of those hours fall outside of the school day. That was a quote and statistic from the Guardian newspaper from 2023, and at Twinkl, we're trying to help teachers with this workload. We're trying to help them with their job, but ultimately we want to help them with advances in technology as well. So if I can just draw your attention to the AI hub at Twinkl, this is where you will find the report writer tool, as well as other tools that we are working on and developing. So at the moment, we have a number of AI enhanced tools that you can use to help your workload as a teacher, as an educator, or as a school leader. One of which is the ARI AI assistant. Now, this is like a teacher's personal assistant with using AI that can help you do your day-to-day duties. It can plan a lesson. It can create a to-do list. It can give you ideas, or all the ins and outs of what a teacher may use Google for. This ARI assistant will actually produce that for you, rather than just give you links to different websites like Google does. We've also got the AI report writer, which I will be going through in just a second. And then there are 2 other tools that I just want to draw your attention to at the moment, which are the colouring sheet generator. So you go on there and type in anything you want, and our Twinkl AI will create a colouring sheet based on that. We've also got a PowerPoint quiz generator. So around the Twinkl website, we have a number of PowerPoints, slides that you can use in a lesson, and this PowerPoint to quiz will take that PowerPoint and it will turn it into a quiz, reading through the PowerPoint, and it will just give you a quiz with the answers and multiple choice. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because as AI technology advances, not a lot of people, not a lot of teachers are aware of what we are currently offering at Twinkl. And these are just a glimpse of what we're working on at the moment. So at some point after this session, whether it's tomorrow or at some point in the coming weeks, if you do want to have a look at the AI hub, you'll find Report Writer there, but you'll also find a vast amount of other really good tools that, when I was a teacher, if these were around and I could use these, I would really see the benefit in all of these tools that we're currently working on. But the reason you're here is because you are either writing reports, or you're going to be writing reports, or you're going to be helping other teachers write their reports. Now, on average, teachers spend around 35 hours per year writing reports, collecting data, and reporting back to parents and carers. Now, at Twinkl, we know that as a teacher, your time is limited, and when it does approach report writing season and you do start to write reports, your time is taken away from other aspects of being a teacher. So, for example, if I'm writing reports and I'm a teacher, I may not teach as much. I may give children different activities to complete so that I can write my reports. Or ultimately, you might spend the majority of your home life, your evenings, your weekends writing these reports. Everyone has their own way of working. But for us, we want to really support teachers with this process, support teachers with report writing as much as possible. And one way we've found that we can really do that is by developing and rolling out our 2 report writer tools. So on the Twinkl website and in your reflection document, you'll see a link to our report writer tools landing page. Now, there are 2 tools that we've developed. One you may have used before. It's been around for a number of years, but we have made technological advances and enhancements to that in order to make it better. We've also got a brand new tool that was rolled out in September of 2023. This is called the Instant Report Writer. So for me, these are 2 brand new tools that will help you write reports, will help teachers finish their reports faster, will make reports easier and better and more efficient. Now, I will be going through both of these tools and I will be showing you live using the tools and how they work. But before I do that, just to be clear, there are some really distinct differences between these 2 tools. So on the left, I'll go through the Instant Report Writer. This is a brand new tool and it really enhances AI technology to help teachers write reports. You simply input a few details about your specific pupils, and then the AI technology will craft and write the report in around 60 seconds. Sometimes it will take slightly less, sometimes slightly more, depending on how much information you've put into the system. Now, these specific details can be in note form, and you really want to paint a picture of the child that you're talking about. The more information you provide, the better the final report comment will be. Now, the Instant Report Writer is all about speed and efficiency. As a teacher, if you're coming to the end of your report writing deadline and you really need some inspiration as a template to write the report for a specific child that you have in mind, Instant Report Writer is that tool that you will go to. Now, on the other hand, we've got In-Depth Report Writer. This gives you as a customer, as a teacher, a lot more control, and these report comments are a lot more curriculum aligned. We have multiple curriculums from around the globe with this tool, and educators, former teachers, and Twinkl employees that used to work in a school or have been a teacher have written statements. As a user, as a customer of this tool, you can go into the tool and select the statements that align with the curriculum objective, and you select them to go into a bank that will then, AI will then turn that into a report comment. This takes a little longer, around 4 minutes to use per comment, but the brand new feature that we really want to highlight here is that you can write up to 6 pupil report comments at one time, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. So if we go here now to just a quick overview, you can see that there are a lot of similarities and differences between the 2 tools. And I would suggest that if you've not used either of these tools before, that you do really try both of them, because people tend to prefer one than the other. People use one and the other one in combination, depending on which kind of subject comment they're writing in that report. Now, like I said, I would suggest trialing both of these out after this meeting. And because you are in this meeting, you will have access to both of these tools for free, as long as you have a Twinkl account. So this can be a free account or an ultimate subscription. Whichever a Twinkl account you have, you'll be able to use these tools for free. So if you don't have a Twinkl account at the moment, if you make a free one at some point during or after this meeting, then you'll be able to use both these tools and try them out, and that will be available for 24 hours. So you'll have until tomorrow evening to use your both of these tools and try them out. There's no limit, so it's unlimited reports. But obviously, if you have a free account, this will only be available for 24 hours. If you're on Ultimate or Core, then that's a different, that's available to you every day, unlimited. Now, I will be going through how to use these tools. I want to start with Instant Report Writer. So I'll just give you a brief demonstration of how we can do this. Now I'm going to stop sharing for just a second and share another tab. So if I go onto this, hopefully you can see this, and I'm going to be on the Instant Report Writer. So try Instant Report Writer, and then it will come up and show you this page. Now, as you can see, we've got curriculum, year group, name, pronouns, word count, subject, topics covered, language, progress level, and specific details. Now, some of these fields have an asterisk. They mean that you need to fill that out. The ones that are optional, you don't need to fill that out. If you do not fill it out, though, the AI technology will fill in those gaps for you. So in my personal opinion, it's better to fill this out because it will really paint a picture of the child you're talking about. So if I'm talking about a child in my class, let's say I'm talking about myself for the demonstration, I go to curriculum and I select the curriculum I'm currently working on. Now, in this presentation, I've got all of these curriculums, but we are uploading and enhancing some more curriculums to this tool. But for now, for the purpose of this, obviously you can see that I'm going to select national curriculum. Now, the name of the child, I'm going to go for my name, and then we go to word count here. You've got 150, 50, and 250. Most report comments in schools tend to be around the 150 to 200 mark. So it will not be exactly 150 words, but it will be approximately around there. Year group, a child that I'm talking about, let's say, for example, year 4, and then the pronouns that you want your child to be known as in this report comment. So for the purpose of this, I'll do he, him. The subject is the subject that you are writing this report comment about. You can select general, which will give a personality comment, and I will do that after, but for now, I will use maths. Now, topics covered, again, you can leave this out, but like I said before, the more information you put in, the better the output will be. So year 4 maths, this child has learned decimals, place value, and fractions. That's all I want to include. I could go ahead and keep going, but for the purpose of this, I'll just focus on those 3. Now, specific details, this is where you can really be personalized and specific about that child. So it gives you some prompts here. What did they score in a test? Have they improved? For this, I'll put works well with others in the classroom, uses concrete resources, and sometimes becomes distracted during, let's do during lessons. Now the AI will take anything that you've put into this, and it will make a cohesive, nice report comment paragraph. So if I click generate here, it takes around 60 seconds, but this one's been a lot faster. Connor has made excellent progress in maths this year. He's working at an exceeding expectations level. That's because I left that as exceeding. I could change that, but for now, I'll leave exceeding. He's shown a strong understanding. And then it goes on to give you a report comment that you can now copy and paste or download as a Word doc. Or if you're not a fan of that specific comment, you can press rewrite and it will do reword it slightly differently. Now, the thing to remember here with both of these tools is that this is not replacing you as the teacher. This is supporting you as a teacher. So this is giving you a template to use in your reports to then go away and edit. It's not giving you a final, complete report comment that you don't need to proofread and you can just copy and paste. The AI technology is very good. It's really good, but it will definitely make mistakes from time to time, and it won't produce exactly what you want, and it won't write like you because it's not you. It's an AI technology that is listening to you and taking on your points, but it won't write like you. So if I was a teacher and I was using this now, I would say to use this as a template to then go away and edit, change, and adapt accordingly. Now, if I just go back here, um, I just want to show you the general comment. So I'm just going to refresh the page. That's the easiest way to start a new comment. And if we just quickly go to a new one, for the purpose of this, I'll go for Sarah. I'll go for they, them pronouns. And the subject, I'm going to put general. Now, this is a general personality comment. When you click general, the system won't take into account progress and it won't take into account topics. It will only listen to your specific details and all the other information you've put. So for the purpose of this year 4, specific details, if I want to write a nice general personality comment to finish off my reports, I would write light, confident child who always wears a smile. Then I split my information with commas. The best way to let AI know that you want to say something else is to use a comma to separate that information. I might say mention our school motto of working together, and then I'll go for that. Now, again, it takes around 60 seconds. This is just a warning to say that it won't take into account the progress and the topics because you've clicked general. So you can just go ahead and click generate, and it should produce a written comment about Sarah using they, them pronouns. So it says here, Sarah's a delightful pupil. They are polite, confident, and then it says there, truly embodies our school motto of working together. Now, again, this is a great report comment and it's something you could definitely use, but I would really encourage you to use it, edit it, and adapt it where necessary. Again, it's not going to write like you, it's not going to sound like you unless you go into there and then edit it afterwards. What we're really doing here is giving you a template and a completed canvas to work with, not replacing you as the teacher. That's really important. So what I'll do now is I will go on to the next tool. If anyone has any questions about this tool specific, more than welcome to put them into the chat box or save them for the end for the Q&A, and I'll be able to kind of go through that with you. So for now, I'll go to the other tool, which is the in-depth report writer. This one is slightly more controlled, personalized for the teacher, and curriculum specific. So try in-depth report writer here. You'll be able to do this as well, as long as you've got a free account or an ultimate account or something, as long as you have a Twinkl login. Here, the same kind of system, you enter the child's name or alias if you don't want to use the child's name. So for the purpose of this, I'll use my name. I'll select the pronouns, and then here is the interesting part. This tool we have edited and adapted and really worked on in order to make this feature, which is add a learner. So now if I have, if I'm writing a report for Connor, and in my classroom there is another child who is just like Connor at let's say it's at history. They're a very similar ability. They work together a lot. They get the same kind of scores on tests, and they're very similar. Let's say for the example, there's Sam, and Sam is using they them pronouns. I can now write a report comment for Connor and Sam at the same time, which is saving me time as a teacher. I can then go away and edit it and adapt it, of course, but it's producing 2 comments in the space it would have taken me before as producing 1. So the same system applies here. You select your curriculum, and again, we are updating these and expanding these. We will be expanding these in the next coming weeks as well. But for the purpose of this national curriculum, I'll go to history and I'll write a history comment. So here we've got 3 areas of history from the national curriculum. And if I want to write a report comment about, let's say year 4, so lower key stage 2, middle ability, here I've got some dates when describing events, can place them on a timeline, and compares aspects of life in different periods of time. If I want to add one more, let's go to, can use different sources. And what I'm doing here is I'm selecting these and clicking these, and these statements that are written by educators, former teachers, current teachers, copywriters, people who've worked in curriculums, they've all been written by humans. And then these go into a bank where you are ready to generate a report. Now, if I was to generate this report, remember that I'm writing a report for Connor and Sam using they, them pronouns. So if I generate this, it will take slightly longer than the other one because it's writing 2 reports as opposed to 1. It's also taken the exact statements that we selected in order to write these report comments. So Connor and Sam, Connor, he, him pronouns, Sam, they, them pronouns, and it has worked. I think it's probably my internet. Now, here you've got 2 comments. You can create up to 6 comments at a time. You can now copy individually these comments or copy all of them and put them into your reports. Now, these comments will be very similar. Sometimes they can be identical with the name replacement, but the interesting thing here is you also have another option once you've generated your comments. So once you've got your comments and you're happy with them, you can now make them longer or make them shorter. A lot of our feedback with this tool when writing reports, teachers would say that it needed to be a little bit longer or it was too long for their reports. So here straight away, you can make these shorter or make them longer. If you do choose to make it longer, obviously you have to wait for this again, but good things take time, and the response that you get is worth it. Again, it's giving you a completed canvas. It's giving you a template so that you can go away and use this to finish your reports. I think the ability here to write up to 6 at one time, obviously writing 6 would take a little bit longer, but on average, I mean, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And now we've got 2 comments here that you can go away and use. Of course, it won't sound like you. It may not write like you would write, but then that's for you to go away, copy and edit, adapt. It's taken those curriculum statements and it's put them into a cohesive paragraph. You can then make it longer, make it shorter, and copy and paste it. So that's a quick overview of how to use the tool. If you were to keep adding, you'd get to 6 and then you can't write anymore. So if I just go back to our slides here, and I'll talk you through a little bit more before we open up a Q&A. So talked you through how to use both tools. For me, there's not one preference that I would have used if I was a teacher. I like the speed of instant report writer. I like the control of in-depth report writer. I think they are both valuable tools to use as a teacher, as an educator, as somebody writing reports. And with the mindset that this is giving you support, it's not replacing you as a teacher. I think they're really both valuable tools personally, but I could be biased. So how can you use them both to help you with report writing this term as we're approaching the end of the school academic year? The thing to note is that they will make mistakes, and if you do use them to write your reports, I think bear in mind that you may find errors that crop up. I think with anything technology wise, there will always be errors. For example, when I was sharing that screen then and the screen lagged and it refreshed, it could be my internet, it could be the Twinkl website, it could be the tool itself, it could be just this meeting, but there will be technological difficulties at some point. The good thing about Twinkl and Report Writer is as soon as there is something that goes wrong or there's an error, I'm straight on there to fix that and work with our technology team in order to do that. So bear in mind that it may get things wrong, it may mess up, it may get a pronoun wrong, but so do we, and we can't expect everything to be perfect, especially when it's kind of giving us the support. It's not writing it for us so that we don't need to do anything anymore. That's just not the case. The more information and detail you put into the tool, the more personalized the report comment will be. Now, this is another important factor to note, is that it's almost a paradox where the more information you put in, the better it will be, but also there's more chance that you will overload the system. So when you are selecting statements or when you are inputting details, I think the magic number really is between 3 to 5. So 3 to 5 keywords, 3 to 5 phrases, 3 to 5 statements. Any less than this, the AI does not have much to work with. And any more than this, it can tend to overload the AI with information that then the customer may not be happy with the output because it missed out certain things that they mentioned. So 3 to 5 is the magic number, whether it's keywords, information, or statements that you're selecting. Try to use 3 to 5 numbers of this. With the instant report writer, be specific and split by commas, like I showed you. When you use commas, the AI will then know that, like a list, it's moving on to the next topic to talk about. And keywords, so like when I used use our motto of working together, if you can tell the AI something like this, it will really understand what you're trying to portray in that report comment. And obviously with in-depth report writer, add up to 6 learners, but make sure that those 6 learners are similar ability, because you can only select statements in bulk that apply to all of the pupils that you're selecting. For example, you can't write a report comment for a high ability girl in year 4 and a low ability boy in year 6. They have to be very similar abilities in the same year group. And again, I have said it a few times, but it is important to note that it does create a template report that needs to be edited, changed, or adapted in order to fit your writing style and be specific to that pupil. I think if you view these tools as a tool in order to support you with report writing, not a replacement so that it can write it for you, and you can sit back, I think it definitely limits your workload. It definitely helps you and supports you as a teacher, as an educator, but it ultimately doesn't do the work for you. There's still an element that we need that teacher personal touch, and at the end of the day, it's the teachers and the staff that work with students in schools that really know them inside and out, and we want to portray that on report comments. So using this as a template can really do that, and you can get very close to, with the more information you put in, you can get very close to a perfect report comment, but ultimately you'll still need that teacher, a pair of eyes looking at that and saying, yes, that is that pupil and that's a good report comment. You still need that human touch. Okay, that brings me on to the final slide, which is just before I finish and open up a Q&A if there are any questions. We do have at the moment a 3-month trial with Twinkl. So you can get a free month on Ultimate, which is access to the full Twinkl site for 1 month. Now, included in that is the report writer tools. So a tip for you is, if you've not already got an Ultimate subscription and you wanted to test out writing your reports with these tools, if you start your 3-month trial, you would be able to use these tools for a month, which gives you a month to maybe finish or get a good start onto your report writer. Sorry, thank you for coming. I know you said you need to go. You're writing your reports and you will get a free month. So I think it's a really valuable thing to bear in mind if you've not already got an Ultimate subscription. Sign up, select that, you are signing up for an ultimate, you will have to put some details in, and it will renew after that 3 month. But obviously, it's up to you if you stick around or cancel it. But it's just a little heads up there. And also, we will let you know about this afterwards, in time to come. But I will be offering some report writer guidance drop-in sessions at the end of May and the start of June, lasting 4 weeks, and they'll be weekly. So if you are struggling with the workload, or struggling with the technology, or struggling with just writing your reports, then I will be offering report writer guidance sessions that will be free, but more information will be provided about that. I just thought that I would let you know about that in advance.